Inevitably, every time I call out boomer bullshit bootstrap rhetoric, especially as it relates to us millennials, I get a lot of triggered comments from people with fragile egos who get their feelings hurt when it's pointed out that the privileged middle class or upper class lifestyle that they've been able to enjoy has absolutely nothing to do with them being, hardworking, self-made, bootstrapping individuals that they keep trying to convince us all that they are, and everything to do with the fact that they are the most entitled and privileged generation in U.S. history, and while taking full advantage of all the privileges and opportunities that they were afforded, they simultaneously work to take those away from anybody else who came after them. This is statistically, objectively true. However, when I share these statistics in history and basic fucking math, they choose to ignore it because it doesn't fit the confirmation bias that they have, and they'd have to admit that they really aren't nearly as awesome as they want to think that they are. 9 times out of 10, they just rush straight to the comments and post some bullshit about like how I'm just whining and not taking responsibility for my actions if I can't afford these things or this or that, or I'm just lazy, or I'm just entitled, or I should have gone to college or shouldn't have gone to college, or I should have went into a trade. A bunch of comments about as original as whatever the next Avengers movie will be. And I generally ignore those comments because they're just parrots screeching the same bullshit we've heard 1,000 times, and it's not worth my time or energy to make content about it. But I decided to respond to this comment partially because he has at least a little bit more observational skills than the troglodytes I was just referring to, and also because it's going to help highlight the point I continue to fucking make in these videos. Normally, when people get in the comments and run their mouth, they just assume that I am whining about my own personal situation, about how I can't afford things, and just ignore the general point I'm actually making. But this person looked at the background and said, it doesn't seem like I'm filming from a shitty apartment or my parents' basement, so I must have money. And then ends it with a emoji. Just to make sure it's underscored that he is posting this comment with the intention of trying to discredit the point I'm making that millennials are the unluckiest generation financially in U.S. history. So here's the thing. I wouldn't say I have money. I'm certainly not in the top 1%. I'm not even anywhere near the top 10%. I'm probably close to the 50th percentile. And for me, that means I'm doing pretty damn good. I am fortunate enough to be able to, go on vacations, and I have a bunch of toys, and I'm fortunate enough to have a decent house on a nice piece of property. And though this house does have a substantial mortgage on it, I was afforded the opportunity on my first house and land to get it far cheaper than it was worth. And because I had that property, not only a lower cost of living made it easier to get by, I was fortunate enough to find a partner who was financially stable on her own because she had parents who are a little bit better off and were able to help her pay for school and let her live at home so she could pay off her student loans after she got out of school. We are in our 30s and we don't have children, so we don't have those massive expenses. And I'm fortunate that I've been pretty healthy my whole life because I've gone most of my life without health insurance because I couldn't afford it. And Emily was fortunate enough to have a friend who got her foot in the door with a company that actually pays a okay wage. And you notice how I keep using the word fortunate because my fiance and I have both worked very hard to get what we have today. But even with that hard work and smart financial decisions, I am nowhere near arrogant enough to pretend that I got where I am because I'm just simply better at life than my peers. We have had luck, opportunity, and support that most people never get the opportunity to have. And just because I've, kind of gotten mine, as you insinuate here, that doesn't mean that I have to lack the empathy, humility, and basic common fucking sense to see that there's a lot of people out there who work way harder than me, are way more deserving than me, and will never have the opportunities that I have to get where I have gotten. And even with where I'm at, I still don't have the wealth, the economic opportunities, or the financial security that our grandparents' generation had, or even our parents' generation had. And at a bare minimum, I want my peers to at least have the opportunity to get to where I'm at, let alone the opportunities that our parents and grandparents had that even I won't get to see. So for everybody who's a little bit more fortunate in life than most people and acts like anybody below them who hasn't achieved what they've achieved is only there because they're lazy or make bad decisions, and you're where you are because you're a self-made person, stop giving yourself so much credit and start giving a little bit more credit to the opportunities you've had and the support systems you've had and the luck that you've had, because you're not that fucking special.